Hey there guys, Jeff here from the Gramforacause team, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 steps to grow your Instagram account today. Now, Gramforacause is a community of passionate photographers who you can find on Instagram, who tell visual stories for nonprofits and social enterprises. And as part of our weekly series, we're going to be giving away tips and tricks about Instagram, updates, and other fun things to not only help your organization get its message heard, but build a community here on YouTube, geared for good that highlight important causes in today's culture. Now, the 5 steps that I'm going to be going over with, you may know or may not know, but we hope that you take something from this and be prepared for what you have to hear. Okay, so the first things that we're going to do is we're going to hop over to our Instagram page and then show you the first 5 things in order to grow your Instagram account. Okay, so one of the first things that you want to do is you want to create a theme around content and aesthetic. And one of the best ways to do that is to denote who you are or what you're about in your headline description when people come to your page. So Gramforacause is a community of Instagrammers helping nonprofits tell their stories through photography. We have our email address, we have our unique hashtag, and we also have a link that people can click on if you're interested, or pretty much if we're just trying to share something with our audience. Now, if you pretty much scroll through our feed really quickly, you can see that all our images are not heavily edited. This is actually the kind of style that we go for. And your style may be different, but you can pretty much see how all of our images kind of rely on that same aesthetic, not too heavily edited, pretty simple, maybe a little contrast. And with this, all our images pretty much kind of fit together. And that's what the aesthetic portion of what I'm talking about, with the content and aesthetic. So, step 2. You want to actually find hashtags that resonate with your brand or message. And in order to engage in conversations with people, who are likely to follow you, hashtags are a great way to find those people and comment on their photos, for example, via clicking on specific hashtags. So if we go down and click on, let's say this photo, we see that we have hashtags here. Gramforacause, our unique one, community first, refugees welcome, with refugees, Jersey City. And all of these are hashtags that people have, put or placed on that specific day, or that people continue to use. And that's how people pretty much find you. Let's go back. All right, so step 3. Step 3 is just about posting consistently every day. And this one's pretty short. I think everyone just pretty much knows this. You want to post at least every day or at least every other day, to keep your audience, to know that you're pretty much still alive in front of your audience. If people actually want to know what you're about and they actually do follow you, they want to know, what you're up to every single week and what your goals are looking like. And even this is the same thing with organizations and people. People just want to know about people, for example. They want to know what's new in people's lives. They want to follow along, and this is a great way to keep them on the edge of their seats by just giving them and feeding them new content. So step 4 and 5 are a little bit different that people usually don't do often, but you want to do these things in order so you really grow your Instagram. So step 4, really quickly, is just about collaborating with pages and users by actually getting involved with offline events. Now, what this looks like, you could set up an event with someone, which is what we did with 80 Mag, as you can see here. You can read about it more on our Instagram specifically. Just really quickly, what we did is that we set up a fundraiser, and this allowed people to meet off of Instagram to actually have a conversation in person, rather than just like DMing people. And then that was really successful. And then step 5 is about getting on the Discover page. If we hop on over here. Oops. Alright, so these are images pretty much that, let's say I would like. I like a lot of adventure, kind of like photography, pretty much like photos like these. How you would pretty much get on the Discover page is something that's not really being talked about a lot nowadays, but it's called engagement groups or DM groups, or other people call them pods, for example. There's Facebook groups called Instagram pods, right? As you begin to have a following, there's a specific algorithm that Instagram likes to follow to put you on the Discover page, or the Discover channel in front of people who are likely to follow and actually like your photos because of the hashtags. And that's all because of when people like, or there's more engagement per se for your photo, people have kind of developed these groups in order to kind of cheat the system or cheat the algorithm. Just like how back in the day pretty much that people would post at certain times because they knew that those specific times would get them more involvement because people would be on their phones more. This is a new way essentially of how people are pretty much getting on the Discover pages so that people can follow and like their content specifically. And it's not really based, I should say, on like how many followers you get, but it's about how many likes you get per se and how many comments you get, so that you can show up on someone else's discovery feed that is subject to probably or more likely to actually like your content. That's how pretty much the Instagram algorithm works right now. And so for example, how do you find these groups, these DM groups? You can actually download an app called the Telegram app, which shows you specifically the DM groups that you can be involved in. You can actually go on Facebook as well and kind of search these things up as well, and you can pretty much ask to be involved in those groups, ask to join the group, and then they have all specific rules and whatnot that to follow, but it's more advanced, and we'll probably get into that on a later video, just all by itself, because it can get quite lengthy, but just to pretty much introduce you to it right now. Yeah, so that's all that we pretty much have for you guys today. Thank you guys for joining us for today's video, and check back next week for our next one.